So you want to find a comfortable position where you can rest for a few moments. And I'm going to mention alignment. Now, alignment doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It's just like organizing your bones so they feel like they're in a fairly reasonable position. Because when we get our bones organized, then our muscles can just help us to move. If you're feeling a little bit out of kilter or, something's not quite right, it's just worth bringing your awareness to that area to try and figure out, is there a little adjustment I could make? Am I resting on all the parts of my feet? How do I want my arms to rest? If I have my palms down, how does that affect my shoulders? If I have my palms up, how does that affect my shoulders? Do I have a nice width across my chest? How is my head and neck feeling? Is there any tension there? Maybe I could roll my head gently from side to side. So I could roll my head to one side and then the other, just to ease out any stiffness that might have gathered up in the neck. And we can go through all our joints and do a little joint check. So starting with the neck, mobilizing the neck. It's amazing what movement can do for the joints. Bring the head back to the middle, nodding the chin down towards the chest, lifting the chin up. Nodding the chin down, lifting the chin up. Just bringing some movement into that area. Yeah. And moving down into the shoulder blades, so we're reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And again, which way are my hands facing? Are they facing each other? Are they facing forwards? You can change that at any time. And then reaching up a little bit more towards the ceiling. So there's width across our shoulder blades. And sinking the shoulder blades back down into the floor. So on the in-breath, we're reaching up. And on the out-breath, we're sinking those shoulders back down again. This really helps us to ease any tension from when a lot of us, including myself, we gather tension up in those shoulders. So we bring movement there and it helps to ease the shoulders off. Oh good, now I don't have to shout. And you can try that alternately as well. So reaching with one hand, dropping the shoulder down, reaching with the other hand, dropping the shoulder down. And we can start to notice the weight of those shoulder bones. As the shoulder blade comes down, we can almost put down all our fatigue, all of our, anxieties, anything we don't need, just dropping down into the floor. And then I always find when I've had my arms reaching up for a while, I need to circle my wrists because my wrists have been a bit, in one position, so it can feel nice to move those fingers, move those wrists. And then we'll rest our arms down on the mat next to our hips. And let's check in with that lower back. Another place where we gather tension and discomfort. Just because it's a major junction in our body, we have a lot going on in this area. So we can iron out any creases in the lower back, bringing the lower back towards the floor, and then coming back to the tailbone. Weight down into the feet, relaxing the lower back down into the floor, and coming back to neutral. And this is when we're trying to persuade the muscles in the lower back to let the muscles in the legs support it. So we start to wake up our glutes and our thighs a little bit. Just with that sense of weight and grounding through the feet. That's all we need. A sense of support. Now, depending on how tight your hips and lower back are, you may feel able to lift the pelvis up, or you might prefer to just melt your lower back into the floor. And you can add your breathing to this as well. A breath in when your hips are on the floor, a breath out as the hips lift, a breath in, and as you exhale, the hips are coming down. This creates a nice rhythm. A nice rhythm for your movement. Stops us from rushing. Your legs are like these two pillars of support. My secondary school it was like a sandstone building, and it was in this like Gothic style, and it had these pillars, big sandstone pillars at the front. Sounds really grand. It wasn't that grand, but but this is what your legs feel like, pillars of support. Connecting back to your breath. Good. So we'll take some of this mobilization further up the spine. Actually, before we do that, let's do a little bit more with the arms. So we'll reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Start to take the arms back behind the head. Notice maybe your back wants to arch, and that's a good thing. Shows that you have some movement available in your middle back. Arms come up and over, arms come all the way down next to your hips, and you can press into the feet and bring your lower back into the floor. As the arms go back, you're arching. As the arms come over, the back is going flat. So that's quite a complicated movement, isn't it? But just get a sense of flow moving through the spine, arms and the spine. Good. So we're going to finish with the arms reaching straight up. Now we're moving to the hips, so we bring our right leg to tabletop, and we bring the foot back down, and then the left, and we bring the foot back down. Nice and steady, feeling that movement happening in the hip joints. We're going to lift our right leg to tabletop, and then the left. Feet and knees together, and bring your arms wide out to the side. Now we're keeping our lower back towards the floor, taking our knees over to the left, allowing our right hip to peel off the mat, but keeping our right shoulder down. We come back to center. Then we're taking our knees to the right, left shoulder resting, and we're coming back to center. Knees to the left, turning through the waist. Now it's really up to you how far you take the knees. It's like a mixture of control and movement and breath. Now you use your breath in whichever way is most helpful for you. That's good. Let's do one more to each side. Come back to center, give your knees a little hug. That's it. And then rolling onto your side facing me. Have your knees bent and your arms reaching forwards with your head resting either on a block or on the floor. Going to warm up that middle back even more. So we lift the top arm and we're reaching behind us, bringing our the back shoulder towards the floor. Arm comes up and over, arm comes all the way down. So just try that maybe 2 or 3 times. Let's do one more. Now, just a little experiment. You're going to place that hand on your chest. And I'd like you to do exactly the same movement, but without the help of the arm. So it has to come from your shoulders and your upper body. Just feels a bit different, doesn't it? So now we're focused more on the body turning rather than just the arm. Now what about this? I need to take this hairband up. As we turn, we bring the legs with us. We might have to come right to the front edge. We bring the legs with us. So we actually end up on our back. So now our whole body is turning, but our arm is doing nothing. Both arms are pretty much doing nothing. Our head has to roll with us, otherwise we'll leave it behind. You know, at which point are we bringing those knees across? So those three movements are a bit of a progression, aren't they? From the one to the other to the other. Let's try them all on the other side, and then you can decide which one's your favorite. So we're turning onto the other side. Now we're leading with the arm. It's quite more expansive, isn't it? You feel like you want to take a nice big breath with this one. It's almost like opening up the chest and the lungs. And then you can try the second one, where we put our top hand on our chest and we're just turning the upper body. So we have to rely a little bit more on our waist and the weight of our body dropping back. Now, as we're turning, we decide at which point we're bringing our legs with us. And that requires a little bit more core, because we don't want to end up arching our back. We want to feel connected into the floor with every part of our spine. The upper back, the middle back, and the lower back. And which way is our head going? Yeah, can we bring the head with us? Let the head roll with you. Is it a smooth roll? Or is it a bit clunky? Are you a 50p piece or a nice round pound? Is there any rough edges that we need to smooth out? One more there. Great. So you're going to finish on your back. This time, hugging the right knee in, lengthening the left leg away. And rather than scrunching ourselves up, we're coming back to that alignment, thinking about our waist being even. And we can swap that over and try that on the other side. And then we just keep swapping, feeling maybe our bum cheek underneath is supporting that long leg. Maybe you can hover the leg off the floor. You may want to lift your head and chest up off the mat. That's optional. We don't want to strain or feel uncomfortable. When you lengthen that long leg, really lengthen it as low to the floor as you can. And then after your next set, you're going to hug both knees in towards the chest. Bring your feet back to the floor, reach your arms up to the ceiling, and just make a nice circle with your arms. Up over your head, around and down to your hips. And as the hands come down to the hips, you're going to lift your head and chest and reach your fingertips towards your toes. Arms come behind you, take a breath in. On the exhale, curling up. Arms come back, arms come down. And this time, hug your knees in. Now, can you leave your legs there and continue with this circular movement? Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale, exhale. Hold behind your legs. Lower your head down. And we're going to see if we could stretch those toes up to the ceiling. Holding behind your right thigh. Can you lower your left leg away and keep your right foot reaching up towards the ceiling? Then we're going to swap over. Now, depending on how flexible you are, maybe you can hold a little bit higher up the leg, particularly if you feel able to nod the chin and look at the foot that's reaching away from you. Going back to a previous option if you need to. Make this quite dynamic. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep it flowing. That's great. One more on each side. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Roll your head from side to side. Roll your body from side to side. Give yourself a little roll around. Let's come over onto the hands and knees. Now, some of us, our wrists can get a bit sore. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can have your hands slightly further forwards, or you can have them a bit wider if you want. Widen up your fingers, make sure you've got the maximum amount of support. Turn your elbows towards your waist to wake up those strong muscles in your back. Then we're going to come into a cat stretch. So we look down underneath us and we round our spine like a cat, pushing the mat away with the hands, with the legs. And then we're going to roll back up through the spine and we're going to look forwards. Looking down through the knees, stretching as many areas in the back of your body as you can, and then looking forwards, let your spine relax. Nice strong arms. Coming into a cat stretch. Lengthening back out, looking forwards. Keep breathing. Decide if you want to tuck your toes under or not. Either is fine. As you come into your cat stretch, gently bring your bum as far to your heels as you can, reaching all the way to the tips of your fingertips. And then as you unravel, bring the weight back to neutral as you look forwards. So there's a bit of a flow going back and a flow coming forwards. I want to find a wave-like action moving through the spine. I'm going to keep moving continuously from one point to the other. Just want to keep it moving, like you're trying to generate electricity or something. Do you remember those bicycle generators? Keep pedaling. Then we're going to think about how we could get up from here. So we bring our hands a bit closer, we lift our bum up towards the ceiling. We walk our hands and our feet in towards each other. And then we use those strong legs to bring us up to standing. Just stacking everything nice and tall, taking a breath. We're going to come down with a flat back tonight, reaching towards the floor with your fingertips, pushing the floor away and reaching up towards the ceiling. So I'm bending my knees, a little bit like a ski jump really. Fingertips towards the floor, they don't have to reach. Push into the legs and reach it all the way up. Reach up the cup. Now keep it moving. Remember, we're trying to generate electricity. That could be a new thing. Electricity generated from Pilates classes. Encourage everyone to do it, wouldn't it? Bring your arms down by your sides. This time rolling. So looking down towards the toes, rolling through the spine, like a rag doll, reaching down towards the toes, bending your knees if you need to, taking a nice breath in. Now as you exhale, push the floor away, tuck your tailbone under, and you're going to stack the spine gradually back up. Take a breath in at the top. On the exhale, rolling down through the spine. Relax the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, like a rag doll there, breathing in. Now strong legs, push the mat away, tuck those tailbones under, stacking the spine. Let's do that one more time. Exhaling, rolling down like a wheel. Energy in the spine, take a breath. Exhale, unravel. Well done. Let's just roll the shoulders back for a moment, squeezing out any nasties. Step off your mat. We're just going to do a little bit of balance work before we come back down to the floor. So if we're going to balance on one leg, then we need to shift the weight across to that one leg. What I find is if I'm too rigid, then that starts to get really tiring quite quickly. So I'm shifting the weight, but there's a bit of buoyancy there. My knee's not locked, my hip's not locked, my foot is grounded. And I'm just going to try to hold onto my knee with my hands. So I'm creating a shape that I can maintain. And then we could always hold underneath or just gently touch the leg. You know? If we are holding on, we need to make sure we stay nice and organized in the shoulders, not pulling us over. So even if I'm just slightly touching my leg, or it's at an angle, I don't actually mind. Yeah, so you could be out to the side, absolutely. I want to show you where this is headed, so you know what your end goal is, because sometimes you know what the point is. So what we're trying to do is reach the ankle, and then bring that around to the back. That's one way of doing it, but we're actually going to come here and then underneath. Or you might be here and turning inwards. If you need to hold on to the wall, I don't mind. But eventually we're just working towards, like when I reach down to my ankle, look, I'm leaning, I'm twisting. Don't expect, it's like turning a plastic bag inside out. It is. This should be good after your weight session. So you're just trying to get to there, and then knee toward, now lift up through your core. There you are. Nice. You feel it? Here? On the supporting leg. So, and that one. That's the one. Keep trying to reach that knee down towards the floor. So it's a, great. It's a standing balance quad stretch. Now, oh, I cheated. Once you're there, you can add that. And also, what I find, because I've got a tight shoulder on this side, is that actually I can get an extra stretch, 2 for 1, here, on this part, by rotating my shoulder back. And then when I do this, I can feel it in my tummy as well. So there's quite a lot on offer. There's a lot of depth to this movement. And it also makes a difference where you look. I find with balance, it's either straight ahead or up. Yeah? Straight ahead or maybe up. Yeah. Drop that knee to the floor. I feel like you're all going to practice this one at home. I will conquer. Yeah. Like that. Yeah, exactly. Like that. Now, see how much easier this is if I bend this knee. Actually. So you could go from here to there. Make it into a single leg squat. Now I'm really getting carried away. Okay, good. So we're going to come back down onto our mat, lying on our side. You can have your head on a block, on your arm, wherever you want. I'm just propping my head up so I can see everyone. I'm going to lengthen my top leg, and I'm going to move from my hip joint. Can I put my hand there on my hip joint? Now, there's not a huge amount of up and down movement available there. If you think about how the hip joint works, it doesn't do this movement really naturally. In order to make this natural, you need to get the waist involved. So my waist gets shorter as my leg lifts, and my waist gets longer as my leg lowers. I call it the fish. Probably easier with the head down. Take a breather, because that can get quite exhausting quite quickly. We're going to do some hip circles. So we start with this leg long, up a little bit, forwards, down, and back. You can add an extra layer, so you can, see if you get your head around this, rotate the hip joint as you circle around. And then change direction. Ooh, that's a bit nasty, isn't it? Ooh. And then rest. Let's do the other extreme. Let's do a huge circle. So if I bring my leg out, and then I'm going to bring it as far forwards as I can, I'm going to rest it on the floor. I'm going to bring it back to the middle. And I'm going to take it behind me. And let's go forwards and back within your comfortable range of movement. And then let's lengthen both legs away and balance. Can you turn your legs out like a ballet dancer? So you squeeze your heels together, you squeeze your bum cheeks together, and then you bring your ballet shoe point as far up towards the knee as you can. You kick a balloon away, and then you bring the leg back down. So squeezing your bum cheeks together, you pull your toe up to your knee, you kick that balloon, and then you bring the leg back down again. Pull it up. Now, poof, kick the balloon. That's it. Wonderful. Last one. Great stuff. Let's come up to side sitting, swap our legs round to the other side. So we're lying on our side, head supported in whichever way you want to. That's it. Yeah, fine. Go for it. Underneath leg is bent, top leg is long. So, yeah, top leg is long. We're going to do the fish. So as your leg lifts, your waist is helping with the weight of that leg. As your leg lowers, you're going to feel that lengthening on the top of your waist. So connecting your leg all the way up into your waist. Toning that waist, of course. Now take a brief moment to rest, because we're going to do those little hip circles. So we lengthen that top leg away, and we're circling around that hip joint. Circular action. Yeah. That'll do. Change direction. Kick that leg forwards and rest it down in front of you. And then sweep it back, reach it behind you, opening the front of the hip. That's it. Sweep the leg forwards, rest the leg down in front of you. And sweep the leg back. Bring the leg forwards, rest it down in front of you. Sweep the leg back. Now bring the legs together. Lengthen both legs. Now, you're going to, so your inside thighs are connected, and then you open the toes, and what happens is, what we call in Pilates, it's called a wrap, where you wrap around into the back of your pelvic floor, basically. So the heels are together, the toes are apart, you're squeezing your butt, and you're lifting the tummy in. That's it. Then we're going to be a ballet dancer for a moment, so we're going to bring that toe up. And then just imagine you're kicking a balloon, and then you're bringing the legs together again. Up, kick that balloon away from you, and then keep the legs straight, bring it back down. Don't do yourself a mischief with this one. Kick the balloon away, not up. Away. Away. That's it. You don't want to do too much. just enough for the balloon to go up in the air. Last one. Good, well done. Bring yourself over onto your hands and knees. So when I was at this conference in Cape Town, I learned apparently it's called puppy. But I think we've been doing puppy for ages, because you've got child's pose, which is basically this. But some people can't fold as much, so then you can do puppy instead. So puppy is basically this. So your bum's in the air, like you really don't care, and it's more of a lengthened position in your spine, but it's a really good alternative to child's pose if you're finding child's pose difficult. Now, if you've got a shoulder issue, then you don't have to have the arms quite so long. You can have the arms, the elbows down, like this. Or for an extra stretch, you can really reach. Now, from puppy, you start to curl yourself back into child, if that's available. But obviously stop if you can't get there. So there you go. Who knew it was called that, eh? I'm sure we've been doing that all along. So we'll come back up onto the hands and knees. Just want to build up a little bit of strength in the arms. So what we're going to do is kind of go like puppy, half plank, tuck your elbows in and lower yourself down onto the mat. So try going from a stretch, lifting your body up, bringing your hips forwards, so you're supporting with your arms in a straight line with your hips. Now to get to here, you need quite a lot of strength in your core. You're going to pull your elbows in towards your waist and lower yourself down, all the way down, and that's how we're going to get there. We're going to stay there. That's fine. That's okay. You can bring your hands underneath your head. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of breaststroke. Okay? So, we reach the arms just in front, as far as you want. And what we're going to do is sweep the arms around to lift the chest. And we're going to lift our legs also off the floor. It feels like the natural thing to do, doesn't it? Now try not to use your back to lift you up. Use your arms, your core, your spine. Try not to crunch into the back. Bend the elbows. Reach forwards. Swimming into this lovely feeling of length. And just keep swimming. Bend, reach, pull the arms back, up into extension. And really imagine that you're pulling yourself through the water. Into the water, through the water. That's it. Now, can you use the water to pull you through rather than anything else? So you've got to use your imagination. That's it, lovely resistance over there. You have to create your own resistance. And breathe. Exhale, blow all that air out when you come out of the water before you go in. And exhale. Pull yourself through. This one is difficult for the shoulder. So you can just come do like, Leslie, this, like drawing circles rather than a huge big, yeah. So just, you can still get the same movement, just draw little circles with your hands. Now draw, yeah, now pull your shoulders down, bring your elbows down, that's better. If you've done 10 lengths, you can rest. Okay, good. Let's just support ourselves up on our forearms, just so we can get a sense of how that feels. Now, if you engage your core muscles, so you squeeze your bum, you pull your tummy up off the floor, then that feels quite unnatural, doesn't it? So what happens if you slowly relax those muscles? Does that just feel really unsupported? Are we using the strength in our arms a little bit there? I'd like you to figure out how much engagement you need. So the back of the pelvic floor is squeezing the bum cheeks together, and the front of the pelvic floor is pulling your bladder up. Now you could do it at 100%, but that would just probably not be that comfortable. But if you don't engage it at all, then you might feel it in your back. So it's about finding that place that supports you. And then bringing yourself all the way down. We're going to roll onto our back. And rest. So let's lengthen our left leg along the mat and just let it rest on the floor. Pressing straight down into your right foot, peeling the side of your right hip up off the mat and bringing it back down again. So we're in the unraveling, stretching part of the class now. We've done all the big movements that we need to do. You can connect back in with your breath, with those deeper muscles around the spine, just trying to persuade things to relax. And then we're going to swap over, right leg long, left foot on the mat. Press down into the left foot, allow the left hip to lift and lower. I'm looking for a smooth movement. So this can be good for stretching into the lower back, but also the front of the hips as well. Nice and steady. Like the sea tumbling a pebble around and making it smooth. Come back to center. Resting your hands on your belly. And as you breathe, taking that breath all the way deep down into your belly. And as you exhale, allowing the belly to relax. Letting go of any unnecessary tension. And we're going to take one more stretch. So when you're ready, slowly coming over, I'm going to do a thread the needle. So thread the needle, you take one hand through the gap and you bend the other elbow and you're bringing your shoulder towards the floor. Now you may or may not get to the floor, it doesn't matter. Nice breath, feeling that stretching in lots of different places. And then unravel, bringing the hand back. Taking the other hand underneath. Now don't expect it to be the same. Might be different on this side. Come back to center. Let's try that one more time on each side. So threading that arm underneath. Bringing the shoulder towards the floor. Coming back. Threading the other arm underneath. Coming back up. Tucking your toes under. Lifting the hips, walking your hands in. Coming all the way up to standing. Great. Thanks, guys. Well done.